Welcome, Senator Arnold Roberts.
It's time for we to elevate our TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC.
Under Kamala Prasad, Bissessa, 74% of the population had 24/7 water supply. Under Rowley and the Minister of Man, it is now 12%. So each one all you, when you call them for water, say Wassa is Nasa. Sangre Grande. Now when you say it in Spanish, Espanol is Sangre Grande. That means big blood. There are many stories about what that meant and how that name came here, but my interpretation is that Sangre Grande, big blood, means big heart, big love, big family, big community. And that's where we must return Sangre Grande to, under Kamala Prasad Bissessa, because under Rowley, Sangre Grande means big bloodshed, and Rowley and his bag of vagrants must go. Extra, extra, read all about it. Breaking news. Scientists have seen signs of life in the politically docile, innocuous, irrelevant, spineless, pliable Penelope Beckles. They say the Douglas wakes you up from her political slumber. Minister Penelope Beckles, Member of Parliament for Arima. Arima means water. The people have no water, and you talking about you perform. I spoke to her a little bit. I don't like to talk to the irrelevant people. But on Douglas politics, I say, Penelope Beckles, Arima is in the worst state in its history. Even your PNM former mayor, Ashford, whatever he named, saying that the grounds recreation, ground sport, grounds drainage, road, everything bad in Arima. Yet you come to tell people on Facebook that you performing. I told her a second thing, I said, but you are an MP. You are paid by the people. You're supposed to serve the people. Why are you bullying people on Facebook, abusing citizens? The third thing I told her was, I said, listen, Penelope Beckles, you are a member of Parliament. If you're writing something in public, forget the green verbs now. The children reading, this kind of no grammar thing. I said, girl, come on, do better than that. Well, I asked Penelope Beckles, I said to Penelope Beckles, I will give you a penny for your thoughts on those matters. And after she talked last night in a wake in Arima, you know the woman had changed for me. I said a penny for your thoughts. The woman had changed for your boy. We will take the entire Arima Corporation because of Arima is fed up of Penny and the PNM. We will take Malabar North. We will take Calvary. We will take Arima Central. We will take Malabar South. We will take Tumpuna. We will take Arima West. We will take Arima Northeast. Straight up. But Penny started to talk about weed. But all the recreation ground in Sangre Grande is only weed. But Penny, how you talking about weed when you sit in a cabinet next to Sleepy, Sativa, Narcolepsy, Fitzgerald, Ethelbert, Pumsite, Rasta, Hines? The whole cabinet of the PNM must be high from second-hand smoke. You're talking weed? The people have smoked out the PNM. The people will out the PNM. Rejection of the PNM is high on the agenda. So don't study Arnold Penelope. Study the senator who wastes $500,000 of taxpayer money and fail all she exam. Study the $500,000 dunce who come in for your seat in the PNM. And remember, always remember, because the people of Arima, all kind of people feeling like they want to try a little smoke because they want to get away from the reality of pain that is the PNM. They want to forget the bloodshed. They want to forget the lack of water. They want to forget the lack of jobs. They want to live in a fantasy land where there is no PNM. So Penny, slow your roll And always remember, Penelope Beckles, that a high will dissipate eventually, but green verbs live forever. Penny, penny, penny. They put you in housing. You build a house, but you cut a ribbon to open mailbox. They put you in planning, and the PNM have no plan. So Penny, wheel and come again. Bite your tongue, girl. And don't come back by the Douglas until your nickname is Dollar. All right, Penny? But okay, Penny, I buff you up, you wake up, you show signs of life. So let me apologize now. I always say, don't abuse the weak and so on, and those who are not as tough as you. So Penny, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Gadsby Dolly get promoted above you because she gave Rowley what you couldn't. Penny, I'm sorry that you're a member of parliament, you're in the government, you're a cabinet minister, and the only set of views you get on Facebook and YouTube is when you mention the Douglas. For you. Penny, I'm sorry the 500,000 done take your seat and PNM done screen she and get rid of you. So say hello to that girl who could not pass the exam, Laurel Lazama Leasing. Penny, I'm sorry that Rowley embarrassed you in Arima and didn't even show up to your meeting. Look, my Prime Minister, my leader in Sangre Grande right now. And Penny, you asked for it, so I'll give you it, You want to battle the Douglas? Come now, man. Better than you come and get blown out already. Penny, finally, I'm very sorry, Penny, that as the member of parliament for Arima, the PNM MP of Arima, after August 14th, you will have to sit and swear in a UNC mayor of Arima. Rowley don't feel I forget about you. Rowley, you miss your meeting in Arima and you're going to sit down quiet on TV6. When you see Rowley talking quiet, you know cocktail coming. They can't stop it. Rowley tried to talk calmly and softly to fool you all into thinking that he's nicer than he really is. Rowley, you are unmasked. You are an evil Obia man and the people waiting for you. Rowley broke the law. Rowley broke the law to try and get Gary. Rowley broke the law with Johnny Sukaran to try and to get Annan and Gerald. Rowley is attempting to break the law to get Farley. The people united will get Rowley. Get Rowley out of office. Get Rowley out of cabinet. Get Rowley out of the West. Get Rowley out of our lives. Unite against evil and get Rowley out. I'm wrapping it. Come down. Now remember, DJ don't play that. Remember the Douglas is Indian. The Douglas is African. The Douglas is mixed up. The Douglas is St. Joseph. The Douglas is Arima. The Douglas is Grandi. All in Grandi must go UNC and NTA. Jack Warner is for the people, of the people, with the people, a warrior for the downtrodden, oppressed and challenged. PNM is anti-Jack. Therefore, PNM is anti-people. Wait, DJ. Gary is security, safety, protection, justice, and discipline. The PNM is anti-Gary. Therefore, the PNM is anti-safety and security. Kamala is love. Kamala is unity. Kamala is strength. Kamala is power. Kamala is respect. Kamala is democracy. The PNM is anti-Kamala. So the PNM is anti-love and unity. Vote them out across Trinidad and Tobago. August 14th. Don't vote.
Yes, pleasant good evening. Folks, we're about to begin this evening's proceedings. We ask UNC family, Chaguanas, please stand for the national anthem.
Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, highlands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress and stand your ground to victory. To victory. From Signature Hall, Shogunas, this is the UNC Local Government Election Campaign with your winning local government election candidates and Team UNC Central Signature Hall, the UNC Local Government Election Campaign.
Yes, indeed. UNC family, a pleasant good evening. It's a pleasure. We can do better than that. We've been out and about, and regardless of what, we know what the objective is and the mission is come August 14. Good evening. There you go. Team UNC, and we have a lot to offer this evening. Those of you, of course, try your best not to block the aisles, and of course the entrances. although there are many of us here, many of us. And of course, you could have been anywhere else, but you choose, of course, to save this blessed Twin Island nation. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. And of course, to all the media houses and everyone that's locked on here across the region, wherever you are, this, of course, is Team Unity's Chaguanas-Borough local government election meeting right here at Signature Hall in Montrose. To introduce our first batch of Chaguanas-Borough Corporation candidates, we call on a man who has been on the ground from day one. As soon as the date was announced, he has been out and about. Please put your hands together and welcome Caroni Central MP Arnold Ram.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC.
Whoa. Are you ready to stand your ground on the 14th of August? Brothers and sisters, are you ready to tell Keith Rowley and the PNM that enough is enough? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our dynamic and esteemed political leader, our deputy political leaders, members of parliament, senators, colleagues on the platform here this afternoon, our national executive members, members of the media, together with so many who are locked on and logged in via social media platforms, I say a pleasant good evening to you all. This is by far the largest local government crowd that has ever been gathered in the borough of Chaguanas. Give yourself, make some noise. Remember, the code is yellow and we vote resoundingly for the United National Congress on the 14th of August. You are voting for you. You are voting to, 1, secure your family, secure your community, secure jobs, secure streets, and secure good representation. You know, if I was a PNM seeking a mandate of the people in this local government election, I would have been boasting about my accomplishments and my achievements instead of promising local government reform and instead of blaming everyone they see on site and attacking people personally. But I'll get to that very shortly. But that happens when in 8 years you have done nothing to improve the lives of our citizens. They have done nothing to show the almost $400 billion they have spent in 8 years. But let me get to this one quickly. I was at pains to see the application process for new prison officers and the form and manner in which that process took place last week. It was cruel, it was inhumane, and it was degrading to our citizens. And that is the PNM vision for Trinidad and Tobago. People were lined up according to newspaper reports from as early as 3 a.m. and left close to midnight, standing in the rain all day. I am told that many persons also may not have eaten, and because of that, they have fainted. So because Fitzgerald Hines get a nice beaten bat, I remember that? He get a nice beaten bat, he wanted the new recruits to be subjected to the same thing. And that is how vindictive this PNM is. Now, this is the same PNM who has been boasting about digital transformation. You heard that word before? Digital transformation. And the Prime Minister, he have even formed a ministry called the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Well, I can tell you that after 2 years, that ministry didn't even have a website. Why couldn't the prison service accept the applications via email or via a website or some other digital platform to ease the burden on our citizens? But no, you have to suffer. And mind you, the fact that the application process was so oversubscribed, it shows the level of unemployment in this country. The PNM are so desperate that they are trying to target influential people in our campaign. I can tell you, under the guise of looking for arms and ammunition, they raided the house of a person's house, because the man supporting the UNC. This was Saturday morning. Our friends in the police service, they told us that the call, it came from Port of Spain, and they got a warrant. They said to find something in the man's house. And just this morning, we are told again by the good officers in the police service that they have listed this person's vehicle on an APB, an all points bulletin. So this is Brent Thomas all over again. This is Farley and Tobago all over again. And our information is that this call is being fostered by a cabinet minister who is connected to the DSS. So brothers and sisters, I say to you, not let your heart be troubled. Let us protest against the PNM with our index finger and vote them out on August 14th. Remember, don't vote, but vote. Brothers and sisters, long live the United National Congress. Long live the Honorable Kamala Prasad Visasa. Forward ever, backward never. So I am here to present to you two winning candidates. Firstly, the young, the charismatic, the charming, the handsome Javon Telesford, who is going to be the winning candidate at number 500, London South. And secondly, the loyal, the hardworking, the ambitious, and the reliable groundsman in the person of Sundar Joku, who is going to be a winning candidate for Felicity Endeavor. I thank you.
Yes, a round of applause once again for MP Arnold Ram and the UNC agents of service and delivery. We know exactly what needs to be done. Coming up next, a man who, of course, gave us some vital information in the heights of the pandemic, where we didn't have to rely to Venus and Mars news. He was able to debunk a lot of things that was taking place. And he's going to, of course, introduce a second batch of our candidates for the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. UNC family, please put your hands together and welcome Caroni East MP, Dr. Rishi Sicharan.
My political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Visasa, Senior Counsel. Fellow members of Parliament, senators, local government candidates, members of the National Executive, and members of the various constituency executives, our friends from the NTA, activists, foot soldiers, and those viewing home and abroad. Firstly, I'd like to bring best wishes to all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago on Emancipation Day, which will be celebrated tomorrow. My friends, tonight, with hundreds seated inside and only standing room available at Signature Hall here in Montrose, Chaguanas, we send a resounding call of love and unity as we fight against injustice and inequity. My friends, just 2 days ago and yesterday, South Trinidad suffered severe flooding due to the neglect and mismanagement of this Rowley administration. Central Trinidad must take a firm stance against this corrupt and incompetent government. Crime also is out of control, and we all live as prisoners in our own homes. The cost of living as well as unemployment are all on the rise in Central Trinidad. We are fed up of rural neglect. We are fed up of the destruction of independent institutions and the state of our public healthcare sector. With your vote, we can reintroduce the much-needed community comfort patrols, allow legal gun ownership for law-abiding citizens, use the municipal police to secure local schools, implement a nationwide street lighting program, and expand the municipal police to 1,000 persons. Join with us as we march on to victory with the United National Congress. I wish to remind you all that the quality of our lives was much better under Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our families, our children, our grandchildren, to take a stand against this Rowley administration. Keep flying the flag of the United National Congress and keep rallying around our leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel. Long live our great party. And it is now my honor and privilege to present to you a couple of our winning United National Congress candidates. For Enterprise North Esmeralda, we have the young, energetic Justin Lee Stewart. For Enterprise South, Londonville, we have the dedicated and hard-working Brenda John.
Once again, make some noise for Dr. Rishi Sitran and, of course, our candidates. And, of course, let's please acknowledge our MPs, our senators, and, of course, NATEX members. A round of applause. Ah, yes, UNC family. Up next, we have a gentleman who is very, very outspoken, and he's able to break things down to the lowest common denominator, whether it's, of course, a press conference on Sunday or any time during the week. He is indeed fiery. Please, UNC family, Signature Hall, put your hands together and welcome Chaguanas West MP, Dinesh Rambali.
Good evening, Chaguanas! With the thousands of you here this evening, I want to do a little game with you all. You see this side, when I say you all say you. When I point here, I want to see an N, and I want to hear C here. Nice! I want to hear that again! I love it! I love it! I love it! I love it! What a massive crowd we have here tonight. The whole of Chaguanas here tonight. And we have a very beautiful full moon night. Ms. Vandana Mohit told me, MP for Chaguanas East, she told me that just now the rooftop going to open up and that moonlight coming in here. So we're going to have it real love in the house on that full moon here tonight. You know, people, they say that Chaguanas is the beating heartbeat. It is beating for our great party. And tonight I can feel the heartbeat of our party pulsating here stronger than ever before. At this time, I of course want to recognize our esteemed political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel, our Deputy Political Leader. Are you ready? You see, this meeting is very critical. We have to take back Trinidad and Tobago from the wicked and incompetent PNM. And I want to ask you, do you want to be able to sit in your homes once again and not worry about being invaded by bandits and terrorists? Let me ask you another question. Do you want to be able to drive your car from Chaguanas to Cuba without your car falling into a bottomless pit and all the holes in the road? People of Chaguanas, do you want to be able to turn on your pipe and get water running for more than one day? Do you want to end property tax? Do you want to end online shopping tax? Do you want to end the continuous and the endless PNM tax? Then on August 14th, you have to come out, you have to go out there and put your X by the rising sun! My friends, let's be clear. This local government elections is about a clear choice. Your choices affect the quality of your life, your family, and your children's future. The PNM has run an entire campaign based on pure deception and fraud. And now what you're hearing them, the PNM campaign is not based on a performance. It is not based on service. It is not based on sound ideas. That is because, as we all know, PNM is incapable of delivering on those kind of ideas. The PNM's campaign, according to them, is local government reform. But what is local government reform? Local government reform for the PNM is nothing more than a law which was already passed and has been enacted. It already is law. So what does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? It means the PNM has no choice but to implement the law, even when the UNC wins the next 14 corporations. So when they come around to your homes, and they ask you, when they come to your doorstep and they ask you for your vote, you ask them, what is this vote for reform that you are talking about? Because ask them if the PNM intends to break the law when they don't win local government elections. You see, this Rowley-led government has no shame when it comes to breaking the laws. You all will remember they broke the laws when it came to the Police Service Commission and the merit list. They broke the law when you had an Attorney General who lied on an affidavit in Miami proceedings. He embarrassed our country and caused our taxpayer dollars to be wasted. They broke the law when it came to calling elections when the date was due. They broke the law when they attempted to induce a witness to give false testimony in the Vincent Nelson scandal. And they are now breaking the law again when we hear of these conspiracies to induce another witness to lie on the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine in Tobago. And now we see the Prime Minister Rowley writing a pre-action protocol letter to a witness who wants to tell the truth. He wants to use the threat of a lawsuit to intimidate someone who said that he is a police witness. How does Rowley know that this person was a police witness to start with? And when it is the guy says he wants to tell what he believes to be the truth, Rowley issues a pre-action letter against him so he could muzzle the truth. So Rowley, as the Prime Minister, the person ultimately in charge of upholding justice in our country, is writing a pre-action protocol letter to a witness to threaten him, to sue him, because that person, that witness, says he wants to tell the truth. Do you all see what is going on in this country? Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have received some information today which is very worrying, following on what you heard from MP for Caroni Central, MP Anil Ram. Some very disturbing news. I am therefore calling upon the Attorney General, Senile Reginald Amo, and the Prime Minister Rowley to answer whether well-known PNM lawyers are drafting an indemnity agreement for Mr. Akil Abdullah to sign so that he could give his testimony against the THA Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine. This is a serious matter. You all remember when they went and they get two high-profile PNM lawyers to draft up an indemnity agreement so that one Vincent Nelson could go and swear oath and give testimony against political opponents, people who belong to this party. Is Mr. Abdullah being offered a presidential pardon by this PNM president to bring false charges against the democratically elected THA secretary? And ladies and gentlemen, let them come out and say exactly what is taking place. I also received information that an audit conducted by the THA, which uncovered massive corruption against PNM financiers, has been sent to the police commissioner. So tonight, I want to ask Police Commissioner Mrs. Erla Herwood Christopher, what are you doing about this information? Are you doing any serious police work? Where are the warrants? Where are the production orders? Whose cell phones have you seized? Whose homes have you raided? Are you holding the audit report in hand and praying over it? Because according to you, Ms. Herwood Christopher, your only major crime-fighting method is to pray. Ladies and gentlemen, you may ask, why am I talking about Tobago so much tonight? Well, as they say in Tobago, a Tobago for me and a tomorrow for you. If the PNM can do this to Fali and Tobago, they will not stop there. They will do it to you here in Trinidad. Rowley has been saying that the THA is the best success story of local government. All of a sudden, Anil Roberts. So what does this mean? When the people of Chaguanas and Siparia and Arima and Mayaro vote for the UNC and put a UNC corporation power, does it mean that the Prime Minister and the PNM are going to conspire with the police commissioner to undermine our candidates in those corporations? Does that mean exactly what it is we have been seeing playing out in the past? Is that the local government reform Rowley wants to introduce? Ladies and gentlemen, I saw last week Dr. Rowley went to Palo Seco, and the man was crying crocodile tears. He was really crying crocodile tears, telling the people that it is his fault all the roads in the country are bad and that he is sorry. When we telling him that all the time, he vexed with me. When we tell him that in the parliament, he vexed. He said we playing flood politics and we playing road politics. We telling him that all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell Dr. Rowley, there is no need for an apology because the people of Chaguanas, we don't vote, we coming out to vote. And on August 14th, we will vote you out. And before I conclude, I don't know why they give me all this to read here tonight, but before I conclude, I want to bring some emancipation greetings Tomorrow, our nation celebrates Emancipation Day, ladies and gentlemen. This occasion celebrates the resilience and the strength of our ancestors and their fight for justice that continues to this day. It reminds us that freedom is a right of all. And just like the freedom is a right of all, so too is our right to vote. Voting is a right which, if exercised responsibly, it shapes the future well-being of our nation. So I am calling on you tonight to vote responsibly. I want you to go out and vote. Vote for you. Vote for the UNC. Let me hear you. UNC, come on. I want to say God bless you, my brothers and sisters. God bless the United National Congress. God bless our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And may God bless our country. And as I depart, I want to take the opportunity to introduce two young men, no stranger to the politics, no stranger to the borough of Chaguanas. I want to introduce, first of all, the returning candidate on behalf of our political leader and the national executive. I want you all to welcome and to give a round of applause. Come and show your support to the returning candidate for Monroe Road, Caroni Savannah Road, Mr. Adrian Ali. If I cross the road where I live, this is my counselor, right? Monroe Road. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, we need to do better than what I'm hearing. I want you to welcome our very own Mayor of Chaguanas, returning candidate for Charleville, Mayor Faik Mohammed. Thank you very much.
UNC family, give it up one more time for Chaguanas West MP, Dinesh Rambali, and our candidates. Oh, yes, indeed. As we keep moving along, we do have an official count, but I wouldn't share that with you right now because they're still outside, of course, counting some heads. So we will share that with you soon. As we keep moving, please. Rabbit?
That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Come let me vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family.
Chaguanas. A happy Emancipation 2023. Honorable political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, give her a Chaguanas welcome. When you are working to secure your community, when you are working to secure the children, when you are working to secure the youth, when you are working to secure single mothers and families, this is the type of welcome you get from Shogunas. My people of Shogunas, you have inspired most of my pursuits, and I want you to know that I represent with every bone and tissue in my body. And I remain your eternal home girl here in Shogunas East. And I say to you, no fly by night, Johnny come lately, diesel-minded interloper can come and attempt to hoodwink you, my people, into pretending that they care and are interested in your well-being. My dear friends of Shogunas East, I say to you, do not trust them at all. They have no loyalty. That interloper have no loyalty. You cannot trust them, and I am telling you, they would abandon you if you give them office. So be wise on August 14th. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight as I stand at this podium, seeking your support for candidates of the United National Congress in this upcoming 2023 local government elections for the Shogunas Borough Corporation, I ask of you, support our candidates 100%. Let us not forget what brought us here today. Thank you to the Privy Council. They saved our democracy. My friends, and you know, after all of that, the PNM has the audacity to seek your support in this election. My friends, only for this reason, they should be cast aside. And the second reason should be because of the Minister of Energy, Minister Stuart Young, with his out-of-timing statement, which matches his moves. I say to Stuart, brother, you don't come in Shogunas and dance like that. And I want to spend some time this evening, because they came to Shogunas last week. All the time, Richie Sukai, Minister in the Ministry of Works, didn't know the Southern Main Road needed paving. They thought Rowley come into Chrissy Terrace. They patched from Connection Drive to Chrissy Terrace. And when Rowley saw the crowd, he never came. And of course, Stuart Young thought he had his way, so he talked, and he talked, and he talked. And at that meeting in Chrissy Terrace, the newest dancer boy claimed that if you vote for the PNM, work will be done on Das Trace Recreation Ground. My friends of enterprise who are here today, look at how important Das Trace Ground has become to the PNM. But what Stuart refused to say, he never pronounced on the established fact that the PNM represented Enterprise North Esmeralda for 6 years. 6 whole years, and they did nothing for Das Trace. Do not forget that, my people of Enterprise. And I can say, without any fear or contradiction, that that is true. They did nothing for Enterprise North Esmeralda. And I want to tell Stuart Young, former councillor Barry Budram undertook repairs to the lights at Das Trace, to the pavilion at Das Trace. He built bleachers for the cricketers at Das Trace. Former PNM councillor sat dumbfounded in council and never uttered a word for the paving of Selwyn Street off Das Trace for a garbage truck to collect garbage inside of there. and you want to talk about Das Trace, the UNC represented Das Trace. Tonight I ask, Das Trace people, are you willing to risk returning Lisa Holder, a previous non-performer, to your council? I say to you, do not be misled by failures and rejects. They are running scared here in Chaguanas. They are worried where Mefe. Mefe left the PNM and come to the UNC. Supporting Justin all the way. And now that is why Stuart Young came to Chaguanas East to talk about Das Trace, because Mefe have them shaken. My friends, I want to speak again to the people of Enterprise, specific things. Do not forget Clarence Rambarat giving you these letters, promising you Bades lands, saying to you the cabinet took a decision. In the height of COVID, you're in tropical Angel Hop, Spaniard, hoping you're getting deed of comfort. Where Clarence gone? As I move quickly, I don't have much time, but as I move quickly, what is Foster Cummins doing for the youths of Enterprise? Today I say to Foster Cummins, you have no shame to come to Chaguanas, stand up and talk, and pretend you're promising the youth of Enterprise. I say to them, when you refuse to help the youths to go to Nicaragua, the UNC dead. When you refuse to help the youth to go to Atlanta the other day, the UNC dead. The only institution who supported Enterprise is the United National Congress. Enterprise, I do not want you to forget. They are trying to come at you. Buy no trace, be wise. What are they doing in Buy No Trace? They come and they measure 2 times with me to build drainage for you to stop getting flooded. Every week is next week. No box drain for Enterprise. From the PNM, the UNC serve. Buy No Trace. Do not forget that. Enterprise, I want you to listen again. They say they come in with latrine eradication. Look, I send them a list. Faris, they know why they didn't bring him to Chaguanas. Why no latrine eradication for Enterprise? Enterprise, do not forget. I am reminding you all, do not forget. And of course, the Rip Van Winkle of Trinidad and Tobago, Fitzgerald Hines, the man who is always sleeping on the job. Enterprise, do not forget Jamal Modest. No police force for you. Look, the letter is here. No police force for you. Do not forget Kunupia, the police youth club, he promised in Parliament he coming. Where is he? Rip Van Winkle, wake up! Home invasions in Kunupia, one after the next. Home invasion after home invasion in Kunupia. Where is Rip Van Winkle of Trinidad? Still sleeping. Where is Kazim? Farmers of Jerningham flooded. Where are you, Kazim? No compensation. Chaguanas, do not forget. In closing, I want to quickly deal with the matchups. I am not announcing candidates here. I'm dealing with the matchups. And I say to you, I want to deal with my constituency. Justin Stewart will beat Lisa Holder. And Brenda John, I don't know what happened to Andy. They are from a UNC family. What is going on? But nevertheless, Brenda John will wipe out Andy Lewis. Mahendra Rampasad, oh God, all he going up in this work to get is a borough work. The man vexed because he didn't get a borough work. But Richard Sugdale will mash him up. And I want you to listen. One thing they cannot say about me is I know Chaguanas East inside out. And in Montrose, they're trying everything. But our brilliant, energetic Melissa Jadunanan will beat up Andel so bad. I'm sorry for him. I want to deal with something very quickly as it relates to Andel Paramsuk, the Montrose PNM candidate. Very soon he may not even be able to walk the streets because I have in my hand a copy of a citizen's report in which people usually collect after making a police report. This report indicates, and listen, keep quiet, let me tell you, this report indicates, citizen report, receipt number 911309, assault. We want to ask Andel Paramsuk if he knows about this, and who is the report against, and who get beat, and why the beating. People of Montrose, I don't think this is what you want as a councillor. This fella all over Lanch Park putting up old brick. No approval from anybody. I say to you, if you are a candidate, do things with the approval of the community. Leave the people of Lanch Park alone, Andel. Leave them alone. You have a lot of questions to answer. My friends, ladies and gentlemen, these are half of the candidates seeking your mandate for the office in the Chaguanas Borough. I want to leave you with some words. Do not be distracted. Secure your community and vote for our winning candidates in Kunupia. Vote for Richard Sugdale. And in Montrose, I invite all of you to vote for Melissa Jadunanan. Secure your communities. Long live the UNC. Long live our political leader. I thank you.
August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Stand your ground now for you and your family. So let me
UNC family, a round of applause once again for Chaguanas East MP, Vandana Mohit, and our candidates. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, a woman whose organizational skills are unmatched. She's that winning force that drives us, that engineers us to understand how important August 14th is all about. And she always seems to have some choice words for Dr. Keith Rowley. UNC family, Signature Hall, Montrose, please put your hands together and welcome UNC Senator Jerlene John.
Thank you so much. UNC, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Misesa, candidates representing the United National Congress, members of Parliament, the LHT is here, the best team in politics. Is UNC in the house? Is UNC here tonight? Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Signature Hall this evening. In a show of force and in a show of solidarity, my UNC brothers and sisters who are all decked off in your African clothing, I thank my brother, MP Dinesh Rambali, for speaking up and speaking out, for a little brother who is also from the east of Tobago, Fali. But I want to tell you something, let not your heart be troubled. Just like me, Fali is from the east of Tobago. Remember, this is the Tobago East. And just like me, we little but we talawa. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't worry. Listening to the problems our citizens face daily, tapping into their needs and aspirations. I've heard people ask, will I see you after the 14th? They're asking our candidates. And the answer is UNC is yes, because that is the UNC way. When I walked with Nigel Moses in Arima Central, a man told him, I'm not sure I'm going to vote for you. And Moses said to him, I wish you'll vote for me, but whatever, on the 15th of August, I will be your counselor, and I will come back to see you and hear about your issues. UNC, our mantra is to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. PNM on the other hand, peddling something called local government reform. To this day, they cannot explain what that means and how that will improve the lives of citizens. Because for them, local government reform comes as a package deal where it takes cash to care. Ladies, our honorable political leader is here. Stand for Kamla Prasad Misesa. She's here. Shagonas, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Dr. Bisesa is here with us. So as we're saying, the PNM government, local government comes as a package deal, but it takes cash to care. Ladies, PNM behaving like the guy who invites you to dinner. Everybody is good. When it comes time to pay, he disappears into the bathroom because he appears to have a bad situation because he ain't coming out. You are left to count your 10 fingers and 10 toes and wondering if the minimum amount you pay on your credit card could manage to pay for the Beaujolais, the drink up, and so on. All that is who they are. They don't cover the bills. They want you to buy cat and bag. So take no chance to go their talking points. Nothing will change after the 14th of August. They are telling us that, and we must believe that the first time. The people haven't voted yet. We have no outcomes, but they have decided nothing will change. When Rohan and Rowley particularly are telling you after the local government vote on August 14, nothing will change. Believe them the first time. What these arrogant, out of touch, waste of time morons are in your face telling you. They are telling you vote for property tax, which will come on the 15th after the vote of the 14th. Are you going to vote for that? Are you going to vote for that? Are you here? They are telling you vote on the 14th and keep Rohan in his position so that your roads will get worse and your worries with your car will only get worse. Are you going to vote for that? They are telling you to vote on the 14th for no jobs. Yet you know, they're telling you also that it takes cash to care. I tell you, tell Rowley to keep him money, and we gonna keep we honey. Tell Rowley, give me money. It takes cash to care. They're telling you on the 14th of August, after you vote, Hines will be further endorsed as the Minister of National Security. Are you gonna vote for that? There'll be no foreign exchange. They are telling you the rainy season is here, and you must beg, borrow, or steal Noah's Ark. Because you're going to flood out, because they don't care, that it takes cash to care. Trinidad and Tobago, this horror story starring the Mokodo zombie, telling you get out, get out. Are you going to vote for them? Wake up. TNG, you have come too far, only to come this far. I am not here to tell you what to do. The Minister of Education told you once, you're big and you have sense. So who are you voting for on the 14th of August? Who are you voting for? You know, as Naila Maraj in a Facebook post told us, she said, how have the people of Trinidad and Tobago managed to choose the most evil people in the country to elevate to the role of royalty and drag them back to feudalism? Because there's no other word for a system in which a small group of people can cruelly exploit the rest of the population and live in a state of decadent excess with the willing acceptance of their victims. UNC, we have to stay awake. Unfortunately, we told you so. It was a Tobago-born president who reminded us that habits grow in slow degrees, streams into rivers, into seas. And that is why the PNM telling us on the 14th, after your vote, nothing will change. You see, they do not take any accountability. They don't care about anybody. They give no explanation because the PNM have taken a vow of silence, but none of them may take over our poverty. So as our leader has over the course of this campaign been rallying us, stand your ground. Don't let other people define you. The standard of conduct to which they hold people looking like me and you have rarely been practiced by them because institutional penetration has protected them throughout history. It is time, brothers and sisters, to break down those barriers. You have seen this week of emancipation. We have not come this far only to come this far. Tonight we cannot let a group of the most selfish, arrogant, lazy, bold-faced people take away our power. Are you going to give them your power? They want to make us feel we cannot do better. We will not be enslaved by the PNM indifference, their lack of empathy, their low standards, their lack of accountability, wanting us to feel and believe this is who we are. No, we are better than this. No, we have come too far to only come this far. You see, the UNC and the PNM subscribe to different values and philosophy. PNM's tagline is, it takes cash to care. Folks, it doesn't matter how much cash PNM have. They have no sense. They're just dotish. It ain't matter. You need a heart to care. We in the UNC believe we need a heart full of love and a soul generated with grace. When KPB first, our Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa, the first act in her parliament, when she went to cabinet, first cabinet in 2021, the first meeting, what did she do? She established the Children Life Fund to ensure that no child had to die because the parents did not have any money to access the best health care. And that came from a heart filled with grace and a soul generated with love. The baby grant, no child must go to bed hungry in Trinidad and Tobago. They demonize those efforts at making life a little easier. PNM is the only group who could make you feel bad about wanting to do better. A heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. When this Kamala Prasad Bissessa Prime Minister called me as Managing Director of the HCC and instructed me to give the people who have been living in HCC housing for over 30 years, their houses for $100. I tell you that, I'm telling you, $100. I'm telling you, these are people living on Prince Street and George Street and Duncan Street. The primest of real estate. This Kamala Prasad Bissessa Prime Minister said, give them it for $100 because they need a stake in their country. That is a heart full of love, a soul generated by grace. That is who she is. They took away gate. Without an education, I would not have been standing in front of you tonight. I'm from Charlottesville, Tobago. I come from humble beginnings with no silver spoon. And I, as a poor black picky-head girl from Tobago, I stand on the shoulders of Botiwari, of Ganga Singh, of Bazio Pandey, and Kamala Prasad Bissessa. They opened the door for me. They opened the door for me. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that I was black, that I was from Tobago. They opened that door for me. So when we repurposed the building, the admin building in San Fernando, again it was Kamala Prasad Bissessa as Prime Minister who said she cannot bear to see the people sleeping in the corridors of the San Fernando Hospital at the time. She said, I asked, how long, Honorable Prime Minister? She said 18 months. I'm telling you, it was an impossible project. I used to, as the chairman of UNICOT, I used to leave Port of Spain where I reside to get to a meeting, a site meeting in San Fernando for 4:30 a.m. These guys from Austria, sometimes they're late. I say, oh, you come here to relax. This is not about relaxing. You have to do the work. You have to do the job. And we have to bring in this project within 18 months. And within 18 months, we had 216 beds at the San Fernando Teaching Hospital. It was, yes, we work. We work. A soul generated by love. We work. The same thing with the Couva Children's Hospital. From conceptualizing to mobilization to construction to commissioning. 24 months, we finished that hospital, state of the art. Rowley kept it locked up. All he could find to do, this destructive man, was to take down the sign that said Couva Children's Hospital. Why? Because the Prime Minister then was zeroing in on children, that they will have a specialist center to care for them. He took down the sign. But I promise you, in the not so distant future, Kamala Prasad Bissessa will be Prime Minister again. And his name... and we will rename that hospital the Kamala Prasad Bissessa Children's Hospital. And who vex loss? Who vex loss? Who vex loss? Who vex loss? UNC, we have worked very hard, led by our leader, to get to this point. Don't give up. We didn't come this far, only to come this far. Because in this week of emancipation, my brothers and sisters, we may have come on different ships, but we are all in the same boats. Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, we have to tell them who to vote for. They know to vote for the UNC. We are hearing it all over. The problems, the issue. And very briefly, I want to congratulate the people of Palo Seco. I heard MP Rambali spoke about it. Rowley gone down there with the two hands swinging. They put him to sit down in a couch as if he's the male Oprah. You know, I don't know if you all know that famous scene where Oprah said, you get a car, everybody gets a car. Rowley went down there and literally told everybody, you get nothing, Nobody again, nothing. The two hands swinging, nothing for anybody. Nothing for anybody. Nothing for anybody. So our people feel abandoned. I mean, the people of Palo Seco, they're all in red in solidarity with the Prime Minister. But what they did, they asked him some hard questions. A lady asked, I'm from Palo Seco. I educated my daughter. She was very proud. She's a Prime Minister that's bloody shell in your meeting and so on. I want you to meet you. I want to know why my daughter had to leave Palo Seco to go to Tobago to work. This is my beloved child. You know what Rowley tells this man? He says sometimes you have to let go and let that bird fly. As if he's talking about a Chicky Chong. Is the woman beloved daughter she's talking about? There's a man with no empathy. This man doesn't care. This man just don't get it. He just doesn't get it. Something had to be wrong with this person. The woman is talking about her child. Similarly, somebody else asks about young men who have been incarcerated and there are no jobs. He had no answer. He should have anticipated that question. It is, especially in this week of emancipation, it is mainly young men of African descent who find themselves in those issues. And the counselor, the person who was going up, the candidate, she asked a pertinent question. He said he had no answer. Asked Foster, who came up with the usual overbearing PNM arrogance to say, well, as long as they are disruptive, why everything to do with black people with PNM negative? When Foster should have said, is but for the grace of God, go I. And I have, but for the grace of God, go I. And I have the name of all these young men who are coming out of jail. And we have opportunities waiting for them. We have training waiting for them. We have people who will put their hand on their shoulder and help them and guide them. But UNC, that is the PNM way. That is not our way. As I said, we come from a different value system of serve the people. You know, Rowley knew silver bullet is that he said the US tell him to solve crime, he had to vet police. I reiterate, if we have a prime minister who's showing up illegally to interrupt a process, Rowley needs to vet himself first. Rowley can't vet police and vet himself because we want to know how this fella who engaged in illegality, according to him, because he said it was me, how could he have done that? You know, they find the parliament to abuse, to right their wrongs, and that is all they're good for. UNC in this week of emancipation, love your PNM brothers and sisters, because as I said before, we came on different ship, but today with Rowley, we are in the same boat. It is time to take back our country and to stand our ground. The majority who are on the brink, the majority who told us are fed up, stand your ground. Those who have been waiting for what seemed like forever for a change which will mean something positive for you and your family. Not only Rowley's people, you know, the rich to get richer. I assure you that those that are burdened and weighed down by the apparent unending cycle of poverty and stress that the PNM policies have enabled, keep the faith, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And we are fighting for that justice, which brings me to the question, are you better off today? UNC, are you better off today? Are you better off today? So on August 14th, go out and vote for the change you deserve. You and your family deserve. Because we did not come this far only to come this far. We still have a distance to go. Vote for your peace of mind on the 14th. Vote to secure your family. Vote for the UNC. Vote for YOU. Vote for you. UNC, keep hope alive. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, UNC family, give it up once again for Senator Jerlene John. And of course, we have to acknowledge once again our political leader, the opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Superior MP and Senior Counsel, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And Dr. Gregory Bisesa. And to all the street captains and organizers, we continue. At this point in time, please, let's welcome on stage, once again, the sweet music from the Flaming Word Ministry.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chaguanas. Can we get a yay yay?
Welcome to Chaguanas!
Can we get a yay yay? Okay, it's good to be in Chaguanas. We are from Chaguanas. Of course, you know the Flaming Word Ministry. And we are here to encourage you and for you to join us in singing the goodness of God.
Right.
That's right. All my days I've been held in your hand.
In your hand.
From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. Come on, sing along. All my life you have been faithful. You have been so. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire and in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend, and I will live in the goodness of God. Hey, all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God.
If you inherit $100,000, you pay 25% inheritance tax. For $300,000, 25% inheritance tax.
Thank you all very much. UNC family. I am so happy to be here with you in Shogunas. But before I move on, let's give it up from right here in Shogunas for this Flaming Word Ministry and their beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rendition. So wonderful to inspire and lift us up in these very despairing times. And to the powerful speakers who came before me, MP Anna Ram, MP Dr. Rishi is somewhere with us, MP Rambali, MP Vandana. Give them all a round of applause. And to all our candidates who will take Shogunas Borough in a one full sweep. Give it up for the candidates. And I will tell you here in Shogunas tonight, you are not alone. Because all the way from Sandy Grande, code is yellow. Coming down the corridor to Napuna, code is yellow. Coming down, further down into Sama Lavanti, the code is yellow. When you leave Sama, you're going into Port of Spain, code yellow. And so it is along that entire corridor. When you come down Central, never mind, this is not COVID. It's just I'm talking too much these days as we campaign. So all along, yes, I'm having some good water, thank you. All along the corridor, down into Central here in Shogunas, going down into San Fernando, you would have seen a massive campaign happening in San Fernando. We will take the city of San Fernando. Moving along into Princestown, down into Pinal Debe. And you know you're really rich when you reach Superior. Superior gone clear. So thank you for your welcome. I shall welcome our beautiful family and friends. This is your UNC for unity. This is your UNC for unity. You remember that? It's no accident. UNC has always meant unity. We know this. Tonight we stand together in our unity and accommodation with the NTA, Mr. Gary Griffith. Give it up to Mr. Griffith. And Mr. Warner has joined us. I say united we stand. Together we can bring back security and safety and love to Trinidad and Tobago. Tomorrow is Emancipation Day. Our UNC family wishes our African brothers and sisters a warm and love-filled Emancipation Day. We also say welcome to His Majesty, the Ashanti King, who is visiting Trinidad and Tobago. Let's say welcome to him. Welcome to His Royal Majesty. And you may see the image, there he is on our screens as we welcome him to this beautiful land of Trinidad and Tobago. With our African brothers and sisters, we share the same glue of love that holds together. You remember when I talked to you a few weeks ago, the shattered vase. When you bring it back together, we hold it together. We share that same love. And you know, yesterday I went to a very wonderful Emancipation Day celebration. Yes, Bellman was there. It was in Moruga, and hosted by MP Michelle Benjamin. And it was absolutely wonderful. And Dr. Esther Cruikshank was there, and she's from Shogunas. Give her a round of applause. And she spoke and she was saying, talking about we all one people, regardless of race, religion, creed, whether you're red, you're white, Miss Harry, black, blue, green, we are one people. And when she was saying it, I said, you know what? She talked about if you see a brother fall down and the doctor comes and you need blood, you have to give him blood. Will you watch and say, hey, you don't look like me, I don't want your blood? No, 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 no. And the thought came to me, and I want to remind you, it is the same red blood that flows in our veins. It's the same red blood that flows in our veins. So whether you're red, whether you're white, whether you're Dogla like Anil, whether you're blue, whether you're green, it's the same red blood. We are all, there's no race. There's only one race, and all we can see, we are all children of God. So let us remember that as we celebrate the Emancipation Day, and as we talk about the freedom, but we have to remember there are so many more battles to fight to bring true freedom to our land. We have to fight the despair. We have to fight the grief, the fear, the pain that has gripped our land. And those fights remain in front of us. Are you ready for that battle? Are you ready to battle for a great land, for a country? Because if you don't do it, they will not do it. They had 8 years in government, and the country is at a total collapse. People are saying, some are saying, Trinidad is beginning to go down the slope. Trinidad is beginning this and beginning that. There is no beginning. It has already happened. We're going through under this government. Going through. Remember this. Trinidad and Tobago wins when we are united. No fair-minded person throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago is opposed to unity. Not one. Everyone wants unity. And that's what we've been doing even from the beginning of time. Everyone from the beginning of time knows that unity is peace, unity is safety, unity is prosperity. On the other hand, disunity is loss, destitution, and burdens. So I want to remind you, many of us here read the Bible every day. Some of us read it sometimes, but every one of us prays every day. In whatever form we pray. So I want to quote to you a verse, some verses taken out of the Holy Book. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 6, 1 to 8. And you know it, and if you know it, you can say it with me. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to throw away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. Now is the time to throw away this government, wipe them off the face of the map. There is a time to tear, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time to win, and a time for war, and a time for peace. And what do we say now? Now is the time for unity and peace. This is the only way we can stop toting burdens. When we come together on August 14, we vote next to the rising sun. We have to stop toting the burdens inflicted on us by this government and vote. Come out and vote. So you all know, what is this time for then? The scripture tells us there's a time for everything, which I quoted for you. And now is the time for change. Now is the time for change. Now is the time for change. So, my friends, we must stop toting the burdens of this government. And you are desperately wanting to stop toting all the burdens this government is putting upon us. Many of you are toting burdens inflicted by this dictator government. In almost 3,000 days under them is burden upon burden upon burden on your back. You all know what I'm saying is true. Where is your raise in salary? Lost. Where's your chance of promotion? Lost. Where's your child's laptop? Lost. Where's your life of freedom? Lost. Where's your foreign exchange? Lost. Every single thing you can call yours has been lost under this dictator-led government. Everything. Ms. Johns, Deputy Leader Senator Johns, spoke powerfully to us tonight and shared with us some of the burdens that we are all experiencing. And now we come to tell you there is always hope. Hundreds of thousands of friends, family, even political opponents have embraced don't tote, just vote. Don't tote! Don't tote. In our party, service to people are our watchwords. You have heard me say 1,000 times, serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. This is not strange to anyone. The ethos of the UNC service. We have always demanded of our members and your councillors to ask citizens about how they're doing. And under this government, when we ask, it's hundreds of thousands of the same response over and over again. Pain, loss, burden. PNM, loss and burden. Even some of the supporters of our opponents, they are also feeling the burdens and the pain and the loss. And this is a truth. We all know the things we are burdened with in our lives. The people will never again carry the burden of the dictator. They will never again tote. They will vote. I know it, I see it, I can smell it, I can taste it, I can feel it. They will vote. They will vote. Don't tote, just vote. Don't tote, just vote. And everyone in our land identifies the UNC as the only party who stands for the poor and working class. These are the people who have to tote the heaviest burdens from this dictator government. While Faris and family toting $250 million in cash money for rent, the poor and working class are toting their murdered relatives' coffins to their graves. While their government financiers are toting big plates of lobster they hired, the poor and working class are toting smaller and smaller and smaller bags of groceries from the supermarket. While these ministers and their children have 24-hour police protection, the children, your children, the poor and the working class are toting the burden of fear and despair. The children, the poor and the working class do not matter to a dictatorial government. This government does not care that your children are being beaten in schools, murdered in the streets. They do not care that food prices and school book prices are higher and higher each day. School is going to be opening very soon again. Parents have been calling us as MPs and councillors asking for help for school supplies. They don't know about that. They tote in big bags of food and groceries and lobsters, as I said, and big bags of money. Your taxpayers' money, know it. The children, this government does not care that they do not have what they need to go to school. This dictator, supported by some in the business community, you know, they fought down the $500 baby grant for single mothers that I had given. They fought it down because to them, $500 is nothing. But to a single mother with her baby and with her children, $500 is plenty money. Plenty money. All the money these people make, all the money they make off the state, off your tax dollars, and they didn't want poor single mothers to get the $500 for the baby grand to buy milk for their children. Shameful and evil. Look at that picture. Look at the picture. People voted to take milk from that helpless, innocent baby. They voted for that, but never again. Trinidad and Tobago is waking up. So can you believe a beautiful land like ours, beautiful people in our land, that they voted some years ago to take milk out of mouths of innocent babies, of poor mothers. But they said nothing when the dictator bought $3 million in paintings. Said nothing, $3 million in paintings because his daughter liked the paintings. But you voted against the baby grand for an innocent young child. They said nothing when the dictator built a $70 million palace in Tobago with full security. Said nothing. But when I gave that baby grant, everybody swell up. They vex. Poor people must get nothing. Only the big boys must benefit. That's what they felt. Those who support the Rowley government, they have no issue with $200 million in rent for Faris family. $3 billion in financing contracts for the family of Smallpin. And they find $500 for milk. Imagine that. For a child was too much. They find laptops for poor children unbearable. I will always stand up for the poor and their children. These poor babies are all my babies. They're all my children. These poor children are my children. They are your children. They are your children. And then the dictator goes down to Palaseco, and when questioned about the poor roads in Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sure, he said, look, that wasn't a priority. The roads was not a priority. For him, it was not a priority because their priorities were different. What's your priority then? If roads was not your priority, laptops for children is not your priority, what are your priorities? The $20 million house in Tobago, the rentals and recusals, the Faris and family, those are your priorities. When you say the roads in the country, not your priority. I say, wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Whoever is generous to the poor tends to the Lord and will repay him for his good deeds. Wake up. Our country is being repaid with evil because this government did evil to the poor and working class. This country is suffering because of punishment for leaving babies' bellies to burn with hunger. That's why we are suffering so much. I saw babies' faces twist with pain from hunger. That is why I try to ensure at least they would have this baby grand to get the milk. Tonight again, I repeat, wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Crime is out of control because the greedy and selfish oppress the poor and working class and middle class. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. See the red blood all over the place. They were red and ready, and now it's dead and bloody. That is all we're seeing in this land. Red and ready is now dead and bloody. Dead and bloody. Wake up and see that this government does not have an anti-crime plan. This government doesn't know how to fix our problems. They just let things fester and fester. And speaking of that issue, there's another issue that I would like to raise tonight. As part of the UNC local government campaign, We have committed to securing citizens' mental health. The proliferation of noise pollution emanating from fetes, for bars, clubs, is an intolerable scourge on the mental health of citizens. The system for licensing these noisemakers, these noise-making events, is riddled with corruption and collusion between party organizers, the people having the fetes, establishment owners, and some corrupt police officers. I was even told that some of these noise polluters who are seeking license, they actually lie and tell objectors that they have the support of the MP and the councillor. Neither myself or any UNC MP and councillor will ever support the granting of license to make noise pollution. There are many reports made to MPs and councillors daily from constituents. The TTPS, some are ignoring the complaints of noise from bars and fetes. Police officers, some are accepting bribes in the form of cash and free services from bar owners to help them in getting license. Police officers, some refusing to inform residents of the dates of hearings for renewal of license. Some police officers actually given witness statements to the court in support of granting license in spite of complaints from residents. Some senior officers are intimidating decent police prosecutors into disregarding citizens' complaints and allowing license to be granted without objection. Police officers, some, they own bars too, and manipulate the system to avoid accountability for noise pollution. So that whole system, I'm sure Dinesh will say more about those things, has to be revamped. I call on all citizens who are affected by the corrupt granting of these licenses, and if you have information on corrupt officers and license applicants, contact your MPs and your councillors to make complaints so that we can follow up on your behalf on those complaints. So now I say, and you know, we've been sharing with you our plans to deal with crime, because crime is the #1 issue in Trinidad and Tobago at this time. I've told you, if you're dead, whether the road have pothole or don't have pothole, doesn't help you. If you're dead and you don't get a laptop, who cares? If you're dead, there's nothing you can deal with, but you have to be alive and stay alive. So we are fully into the fight against crime. I've outlined our plans before. And I want to say clearly tonight, because sometimes I see armchair politicians writing in some media houses. They say, oh, no plan. They have no plan. Every night we are telling you about our plans. I want to make it clear the UNC has a plan to deal with crime. We have a plan. We clearly have a plan. You can see our plans on the ticker tape on the screen. We will implement the anchor bracelets. We passed that law. We passed the law that if people are out on bail and so on, that you will wear the anchor bracelets. What has happened to the anchor bracelets? What has happened to the pepper spray? We passed that law too. What has happened with the pepper spray? Maybe one of their friends, they're waiting for them to set up a company to import the pepper spray. I don't know. They say we don't support anti-crime legislation. You hear lie? That is the biggest lie. We supported the anchor bracelets. We brought the anchor bracelets. We supported the pepper spray law. We supported so many other pieces of law. I mentioned some of them last time. So we will ensure that the police has the resources that they need. And we will make sure that we have a competent national security minister. We'll ensure that our borders are guarded. You know, they complain about the damaged vessels that we bought. The damaged boats and ships that we bought to guard our borders. And they have them park up down in Strawberries Bay. Where's Damien? Strawberries Bay. They have them park up. They would not get them working. They will not get fuel. And then you complain about guns illegally coming into the country. They will do nothing. Nothing. We will ensure our borders are guarded. We'll hire over 1,400 new municipal police officers in the boroughs, each of the corporations locally. We will use the municipal police in the local government corporations to secure our children at their schools, primary and secondary. At schools, use the local municipal police. Those who want gated communities, the local councillors, the local corporations, they have the power, they have the authority, they have the jurisdiction in law that if you want your community gated to lock out people that you don't want, you can get it done through your regional corporation. So it's not only the West you have gated communities now. Once you want that, we could work with you, the local councils will work with you, because that is to prevent unwanted invaders coming into your areas where you're living. Block them out. What you're doing here, what you come here for, who you come to see, why you come to see. They just can't drive in and invade your home. We will gate your communities. We will ensure your streets are illuminated at night. We will bring back the community comfort patrols. Bring back the community comfort patrols. Why did it disband the community comfort patrol? Why? We will provide educational opportunities for law enforcement officials to make them better and more equipped to tackle crime. We will restructure the Ministry of National Security to make that ministry work for you and for all of us. We will have the stand your ground laws so you can defend yourselves when the criminals invade your homes. We will ensure law-abiding citizens have access to legal gun ownership. When the criminals invade your home, you can draw your licensed firearm and light them up. Empty the whole clip. Empty it. Light them up. Reload. We have to fight fire with fire. Look at the front page of the Express today. Look at this article from the Trinidad Express, front page today. Woman kills home invader. Woman kills home invader with her husband's licensed firearm. And the next headline, double murder in Carenage. Double murder. Double murder is almost every day. Here it is. This is why more law-abiding citizens must be given legal firearms. This is why we must have stand your ground laws. So this woman will not be charged. Imagine this mother seeing these criminals coming into her home, breaking into, rob and rape her and her children. And now she can be charged because she was defending herself. The PNM is against you defending yourself and your family. I want you to look at the screen, and this is what the PNM is saying. Are we getting there?
So when they come and they talk, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, what? Ms. Prasad says, so you stand your ground and understand that the PNM controls the majority in the parliament. And as long as we are here, we will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground. So when they come and they talk, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, what? Ms. Prasad says, so you stand your ground and understand that the PNM controls the majority in the parliament. And as long as we are here, we will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground.
As long as the PNM is there, they will not support stand your ground. Listen well, you know. They will not support you to defend yourself and your family, defend your wife, defend your child, your daughter. They will not support you to help yourself to defend your home. Listen well. That is the official policy of the PNM. And if you want me stand ground, we will stand our ground. We will stand our ground. Stand our ground. Stand our ground. All you have to do is come August 14th, yes, and vote them out. August 14th, vote out those wicked, incompetent people. You have to vote them out so that UNC can give you that power to defend yourself and your family. I quote you again from the Holy Book, from Exodus 22:2. I quoted it before, but it's important we understand it when we are talking about stand your ground. This is it straight from the Holy Scripture. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder. Let's hear it again. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder. Not guilty. Not guilty. If the Holy Book tells this to us, the Holy Book tells us to stand your ground and defend your family, who is a PNM to tell you to do otherwise? I always tell you, those whom God bless, let no man curse. Those whom the Lord blesses, let no man curse. We will deal with crime. The UNC will secure Trinidad and Tobago. The criminals will never be in control, and you and your children will once again be safe and secure. So what is at stake in this election? What is at stake in this election? When you go to the polls on August 14th, I want you to remember what exactly is at stake. You are not simply voting for a counselor. You are voting for your future and the future of your children. You are voting to protect your loved ones. I want you to look at the faces of your loved ones. Your wife, your husband, your children, your mother, father, brother or sister. Look at their faces. I want you to look at the faces of the people you love and remember what it is that you're voting for. You're voting for your loved ones, their future, their security, their safety, and their happiness. You are not happy when you have to turn your house into a prison to be safe, and they're still coming for you in your home while you're sleeping to rob and kill and rape. The terrifying fear that you feel in your chest when you hear a noise outside your home at night is destroying your mental health. Every little noise that you hear now, you're terrified. What kind of life is that to be living? Why are people in Trinidad and Tobago waking up every day to survive and not live in peace? The election, this election, I ask you, put the physical security, financial security, and mental security of your loved ones first. You repeat with me, don't tote, just vote. Don't tote, just vote. Send this government a message to change course. By sending them a message, they may change course and give you legal firearms to protect yourself. By sending them a message, they may change course and support stand your ground legislation so you can defend your families. By sending them a message, you're telling this government that you and your family's security are important, and he must fire Hines now. He must fire Hines now. Now. When we send a message to the government, we are telling them we are fed up with our children or grandchildren being bullied and beaten at school. When we send a message, we are saying we are fed up of being beaten, robbed, and raped. They're telling me I have extra time. Shall I take it? Thank you all very much. So the very people that this government continues to ignore, continues to oppress, these people whom the government have forgotten whom they have left behind, and whom they just do not care about. They're you, and you must send that message for security and safety in our land. Imagine that you don't have to worry, about your child being bullied and beaten whenever you drop them off at school, because we will use the municipal police, as I said before, at the schools. Imagine the peace of mind seeing the flashing lights of the community comfort patrols whilst you're in your bedroom and you're sleeping or half awake. Imagine knowing that a car passing at night is one of your neighbors and not a criminal because your community is now gated. Imagine knowing the mental health and stability and comfort your family will have, or being able to draw a licensed firearm in case of home invasion. A vote for the UNC can give you peace of mind and secure your mental health. Some of these things we can do through the local government forum, and some we will achieve through central government. But I tell you, as surely as day follows night, when we win this local government election, the next step is to win the general election as we march on to victory. Young people are suffering. Look at the lines. The other day I was driving to Grande for a meeting, and traffic in the night. And it was because so many people lined up to try to get a job that the prisons had vacancies. Prison officers, lining up. So many people came out lining up in the rain to apply. And I'm told that they come out from midnight the night before and line up there to get interviewed and don't get the interview until that the next day, midday and after lunch. Some time ago, you remember, a cruise ship had advertised vacancies and thousands of people turned out to apply. What does this tell you? People, young people in particular, are unemployed, looking for work. They are unable to find sustainable jobs under this government. So many thousands have lost jobs since this government came into power. Young people are unable to afford a home. So many are struggling to survive and not be a burden to their families, but they can't afford the mortgage payments. I tell you, we will bring back Land for the Landless program. We had worked so hard on that program, it's gone extinct. We will bring back Land for the Landless and focus on young people. Deputy Leader John told you about the program we had, just to give, in effect, gave the agency homes to those who had been there for so long for $1. Because we believe everyone has a right to own a home. Everyone has a right to own a home. You know, I feel this very much. I know it. Because when I was growing up as a child, we and my other 5 brothers and sisters and our parents, we'd be moving from house to house to house, renting. House to house we would move. Never stay too long in one place, which was a great thing in a way, because that meant we lived in so many different places. Could not afford a home. And you know what made the difference in my life? And will make the difference in your life and in that of your children is education. Education. I've always spoken about the value and importance of education and home ownership, and they being the passport out of poverty. Under this government, so many of our youth are being driven into poverty. Education is a bad word to this government. They refuse to open new schools that were completed or almost complete. You know them in your own districts. Khadija knows it there, and up in St. Joseph, they wouldn't open the schools. Down in Debe, that Ramaitre Sindhu, they will not complete. It was all over the country. We left schools that were just on the verge of completion, and some already completed, and they would not open them. And what has happened? Vandals have vandalized those schools. So that we have to go to open them, we have to go and spend so much more money. They left these schools to become dilapidated and vandalized. They took away laptops from our children. They took away free textbooks for students. They cut school feeding. They cut scholarships. And what we saw is that its SAA results and other test scores have fallen. Thousands of children dropped out of the school system. Many students, parents, and teachers, the support systems were terminated. They have attacked the denominational schools. What's wrong with them? Those schools are doing so well. If it's not broken, why try to fix it? What are you interfering with the Concordat? Didn't knows about it. The Mahasabha, famous lawyer. The Presbyterians have another young lawyer. They're going to court. What you want to interfere with the Concordat for? Anglican schools, Presbyterian schools, Hindu schools, Asja schools, Muslim. Why you want to go into those schools when they are doing the best in the country? Why? Why do you want to tell us? Tell us. I say, they have attacked the denominational schools. They have neglected academic achievement and excellence. They have decimated the TechVoc program. They refuse to open an entire university campus down in South in Bay. So short-sighted, they think it's for the people of South and not for anyone else. So short-sighted. What we did when we built that campus, it was to ease up the pressure in St. Augustine so more students could get a university education, more and more and more of our young people. What one campus could hold, the next one could hold double the amount, so more young people would have the chance for university education. What's wrong with you? What problems you all have with people getting an education? I mean, you know why? They want to keep you down. They want to keep you oppressed. They want to keep you depressed. That's what it is. I say we in the UNC will secure the future of our young people. The only young people now living their best life in our country is the not so young Stuart Young and that whole family. So let's speak about the Youngs and their favorite finance company, NCB Global, a little bit. Tonight, I have this to share with you a few nights now, and I didn't. So tonight we're going at NCB Global because I'll leave that for Anil and other persons, okay? Let's talk about NCB Global. I am not casting any aspersions on any of the companies I'm going to talk about tonight. I am calling for clarity from government regarding what is being published in the media. Something seems to be very wrong at NCB Finance Group. On April 28, 2019, Minister of Finance issued a license under the Foreign Investment Act to NCB Global Holdings Limited for them to buy 62% ownership in Guardian Holdings Limited, a Trinidadian public company. Stay with me and you'll see where this is going. It's going straight outside of your pocket. On Tuesday, 14th May 2019, it was reported that NCB Global Holdings had successfully completed its takeover of Guardian Holdings Limited with a total shareholding of 62%. On March 9, 2020, I questioned 8 financing transactions for state entities worth almost $3 billion that NCB Global Finance under Angus Young, I think that's the picture there, under Angus Young, has somehow won in the last 4 years under the PNM. These deals were also questioned by finance industry leaders. Michael Leachin is chairman of NCB Global Finance and serves as director on the boards of NCB and GHL, the regional financial services company headquartered in Westmoreland. Michael Leachin has liquidated billions worth of assets in the past 2 years, including millions of shares in his NCB Global Finance. In March 2023, this year, NCB Global Holdings, the Trinidad-based subsidiary of NCBFG, was in the local market looking to raise US $30 million in senior, secured, and dual tranche fixed rate notes. And notes are secured by TT Dollar Security, is the name of GHL. In January, another NCBFG subsidiary, NCB Capital Markets Barbados, was looking to raise US $25 million. On May 25, 2023, Michael Leachin indicated he was taking a leave of absence effective immediately. But on July 18, 2023, Leachin announced that he was cutting his 3-month leave of absence short. On July 19, Trinidad Express reports NCBFG's president and group CEO, Patrick Hilton, and his group chief financial officer and deputy chief executive officer, Dennis Cohen, both proceeded on leave for 3 weeks, which then turned into permanent leave. They're gone, they're just gone. These two men put out statements denying any financial impropriety on their part at NCBFG. Patrick Hilton is chairman of GHL. Dennis Cohen and Michael Leachin are the board members of GHL. We have heard nothing publicly from GHL regarding these men. I want you to put up the photos. These 3 men on the board of directors. The NCBFG share price has declined by about 70%. I want you to stay with me. This is coming right out of your pocket. It may belong to you, but it is coming and going to reach right into your pocket to empty your pocket. The NCBFG share price declined about 70% between the end of the company's 2019 financial year and last Friday. NCBFG shareholders have received no dividend payment since May 2021. A number of the bonds that NCB Global raised for the PNM were actually financed by our local banks. Some of the borrowings were secured in the name of Guardian Holdings Limited. Clearly, the very frightening news of Mr. Leachin's recent financial maneuvers are cause for concern. This seriously makes the public worried about the financial health of both NCB Global and Guardian Holdings Limited. Tens of thousands of our citizens hold portfolios in Guardian Holdings Limited, and our banks and financial institutions have exposure due to the investment in NCB Global. Now I'm calling on the central bank governor. I am calling on Minister of Finance. I'm calling on Angus Young. I'm calling on Stuart Young. I'm calling on Mr. Rowley. I'm calling on the boards of Guardian Holdings Limited and NCB Global to come out and guarantee the people of Trinidad and Tobago that their financial portfolios are safe. Are our policies safe? Are our policies and investments safe? I'm calling them to tell us, does the potential failure of NCB Finance Group pose a systemic risk to our financial sector? Did this government invest monies from our HSF into NCB Financial Group? It is curious that the $6 billion loss of the HSF has coincided with NCB Financial Group's turmoil. Friends, tonight I say you, what is the status of Patrick Hilton as chairman of GHL? Dennis Cohen, Michael Leachin as board members of GHL. There can be a cascading failure within our financial system due to the numerous interconnecting linkages amongst NCB Financial Group, GHL, local banks, and financial institutions within our country. I wonder if you remember what happened when Clico failed. Do you all remember what happened? We had a massive failure of Clico. And all the insurance policies, all the investments people had made. We cannot sit idly by and let another Clico happen. We cannot sit by and just watch this thing happen and the whole economy crashes. I am calling for clarity and guarantees from the governor of the central bank, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance. Is this NCB Global chaos Another Clico meltdown happening before our very eyes. We must not allow another Clico meltdown to happen. We want answers and guarantees. I assure you, if another Clico occurs, this will destroy the future of our young people. They already cannot get jobs. So as I close, I want you to keep that in mind, and let's call for the answers, because that will bring tremendous systemic risk in our economy and in our financial institutions and in all those pension schemes and funds that people invest their money in. We understand that times are hard. We're here to protect you against financial devastation. We are here to protect you against another Clico. We are not here to talk about increasing taxes to pay for the incompetence of this government. We understand times are hard, and now is not like the time to ask you to pay more for less. We see banks declaring billions in profits. We see Ferris, Stewart, and Rohan grow richer and richer. We hear the central bank saying poverty in TNT is at 20%, while the working class disappears into paycheck to paycheck. And then no real savings or investment opportunities. Tonight I ask you to remember, when you go to vote on the 14th, you will be voting to vote them out. You'll be voting for a councillor, but you'll be voting for the future and the children's future in Trinidad and Tobago. As we ask our candidates to come on stage to join us here tonight, let us remember we are UNC and we are UNC and we are proud. We are UNC and we are proud. Don't tote, just vote. Don't tote. Don't tote. God bless you and get home safely. Candidates, please. Can the MPs and senators join us? MPs and senators, please join us.